What's up everybody? Welcome to Make This. This is an instructional cooking video where I make whatever I feel like it. And today I feel like tapping into my Filipino roots and making a noodle dish called pancit. Now I'm going to be going through the ingredients you need, the steps, and I'm going to show you the finished product. So sit back and relax, and here comes the ingredients. Alright, so let's get on with the ingredients that we're going to need to make pancit. Now this is a noodle dish, so we're obviously going to need some noodles. And the ones we're using here are a rice noodle, a very, very thin rice noodle. Let's see if you can see what it looks like here. You can buy this at your local Asian store or even at your local grocery store. So we're going to need some of this. For the vegetable part, we have 2.5 cups of shredded cabbage and 2.5 cups of shredded carrots. Now we're going to be using chicken for this, and I have 2 cups of shredded chicken breast. And to keep the noodles moisturized and everything, we are going to be needing about 3 cups of chicken stock. Now this may go up. I have 4 cups just in case, but we may need to use more or less depending on how the finished product is, and I'll explain to you when we're actually cooking it. We're going to need about 4 cloves of garlic and 5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now this is another one that may give or take just depending on how it cooks, so we're going to go through it when we're actually cooking it. We're also going to need oil and, just for seasoning, salt and pepper. So these are the ingredients that we're going to be needing, and let's get on with the procedures. So the very first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to soak our rice noodles. And I have a tray of water here, and we're just going to throw our noodles right into them. Just so they can soften up right before we cook them. Make sure we get them all soaked in there. And this is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes, all depending. But we just want to get them softened up and pliable before we cook. So this will be step 1. So right now I have a pan over medium heat. What you traditionally want to use is a wok, but since I don't have a good wok, I'm just going to really use a wide open pan for this. And the first thing we're going to do is add a little bit of our oil to the bottom of the pan. And since it's nice and heated up, we're going to start throwing in our garlic. Sure we start moving that around so it doesn't burn or anything. Mix this up. Now the next thing we're going to add is our vegetables. Since we want to cook them down a little bit, make them a little bit softer. So I'm going to throw in the carrots and the cabbage and start cooking these down. Now it's going to probably take about 5 minutes to get these nice and a little bit cooked through and softened. Right, the only thing I'm going to add right now for seasoning is cracked pepper. I do not want to do salt yet, just in case. I don't want to over salt the dish because you cannot go back from that. Our vegetables look good enough right now. Right now I'm going to add up the chicken. Since the chicken's already been cooked, we're basically just heating it through right now. Now what I like to do is add a little bit of chicken broth to this. Maybe about 1/4 of a cup of chicken broth to the bottom of this. And I would add just a touch of soy sauce to the dish, just to give us a little bit of color. Add to the vegetables. We'll let it sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna get our noodles and throw them in. Our vegetable chicken mixture is nicely warmed through. Now we're gonna add our noodles. And like I said earlier, that we let these noodles soak for about 10 minutes so they're really pliable. And here it is now. What we're going to do now is slowly mix everything in. There we go. So like I was saying earlier about the chicken broth, I have about 3 cups. This is give or take. It all depends how much liquid the noodles absorb. So I'm going to start adding just little by little, maybe about half a cup at a time, and see how it reacts. And this part's going to take a while just for all the noodles to absorb all the liquid in there. Ooh, looks like the noodles are absorbing all the stock. I think we're in a good shape right now. I'll probably add just a little bit more, maybe another 1/4 of a cup of chicken stock. And mix it around. So since everything is nicely absorbed, we're going to start adding in our soy sauce. And this is why I said it was give or take, because you don't want to add too much because it might get too salty. And this is what's going to happen, is going to add saltiness and a nice color, like a deep dark color to your noodles. So we're going to just start off with a little bit. And we're going to mix this together. Looks like I'm going to need some more soy sauce. This is where we have to play it by eye, because I'll show you what we're going to be looking for here shortly. We're going to add a little bit more. Now at the same time, I'm going to add more pepper to the dish. I'd say about a tablespoon of pepper. Mix it up. Make sure everything is nicely coated. Now this is the color that we're looking for. It's not too dark, but it's not too light, I guess you can say. Now, the big thing now is we gotta taste this thing and see how it is. What I've noticed is it needs a little bit more chicken broth. This is what I was talking about, where you have to keep an eye. You have to really taste this dish just to get the right consistency. The noodles can't be too hard, but they can't be too soft where they just break up. And when you're tasting it, look for the peppery chicken flavor that comes out of this. When I notice it needs a little bit more salt, instead of adding salt, I am going to add soy sauce for more of a dark color. Darker color and saltiness. I'm going to try it one more time. Just a little bit more salt. So I'm going to use all 5 tablespoons of my soy sauce. Now, this is going to be perfect after my final taste test. Oh, wonderful. So this is what you have to do to actually cook this dish. It's really quick. You just have to keep an eye and keep your palate open to have a nice chicken pepper-y taste to it, and keep an eye on the noodles that they don't overcook or become soggy, like too much basically. So these are what you're supposed to do for this dish. I'll show you the finished product. Even though you see it here, we'll show a better view of it. Here it is, people. Pancit, a Filipino noodle dish. It's not that hard to make. A lot of prep work you have to do. But in the end, I think it's worth it. So, if you like what I'm doing, the videos I make, share it, like, subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go fuck yourself. Till next time, eat.